Hello everyone, Ace here, and today I have a rather interesting little story for you regarding a game called Sense Ominous Premonition, a Cyberpunk Ghost Story, which is made by a company called Tophat Studios, and can be best described as a 2.5D horror game inspired by the likes of Clock Tower and Fatal Frame, with of course a cyberpunk setting and anime style thrown in for good measure. Now the game has been out since August on Steam itself, however it has been recently announced that the game is getting ported to the Nintendo Switch as well, and it was with this recent news update that the studio found itself victim of a smear campaign. As you could probably guess, the physique of the main protagonist managed to attract a number of pro-censorship activists on platforms such as Twitter. And by activists, I of course mean screeching banshees who will shout "Where are her organs?" whenever faced with a female character that does not look like a hideously deformed Moby Dick. So far so standard for this day and age. However, what makes this particular story genuinely special is the response provided by Tophat Studios, in which they said, and I quote, "With the recent news of our game coming to Nintendo Switch, we are aware of a large amount of messages and demands aimed toward the game's console platform release based on lies. Furthermore, voices have attempted to advocate making sale of the game untenable through demanding harsh censorship aimed toward the developer's art style, with threats to review bomb the game and or harass its distributors. In addition, we have received death threats from those who feel threatened by what essentially boils down to an aesthetic decision of how pixels are arranged on a screen. While disappointed at these behaviors, we are certainly not surprised. Let us be clear on this. We will not censor the game because of self-centered crowds who care solely about grandstanding. We categorically and absolutely refuse to restrict creative expression. Creators should be allowed freedom to express themselves, particularly when it is an expression of the subcultures they have been immersed in. As a cyberpunk game, Sense uses imagery and themes relating to a future of hyper-commercialized, over-commodified imagery as part of its cyberpunk theme and inspiration. This is reflected in all character designs. With that said, we expect that this is lost on those attacking the developer for being harmful and somehow inflicting violence and pain. Those who believe words or images inflict violence should perhaps stop spurting their own hateful, false rhetoric and also cease condoning death threats to those they disagree with. We reject any and all of the aforementioned brazen characterizations of the game, and would like to reiterate our principles against tampering with creators' expressions. We would also like to reiterate this game is rated ESRB M, PEGI 18. This is not an AO game, nor have any laws been broken as some social media commenters have ridiculously claimed out of their biases. This game's rating reflects the target audience, and yet this fact is lost on those who have been led by a will to blindly crusade against their false perceptions. Our game is rated ESRB M, PEGI 18. This game will release as planned and without censorship on the 7th of January 2021 for Nintendo Switch. It can be pre-ordered and preloaded now on the Nintendo eShop. The game has passed QA on other platforms and release dates are being decided. The game will not be censored, we categorically refuse. So not only is this a situation where the developer is refusing to bend the knee to the woke activists, but in their statement they have even gone out of their way to expose the fact that these said activists in particular are demonstrably nothing short of being both liars and hypocrites by their own standards. And in my opinion, the person at Tophat Studios who made this particular statement absolutely deserves a raise, because this is exactly how one should handle this sort of smear and harassment campaign. In addition to this, I will have to admit that this particular story also is ultimately what made me aware of their particular game. And judging from what I've seen on Steam, it does look promising, which is why I'm going to be providing a link in the description below to both the Nintendo eShop version as well as the Steam version. I should also mention the fact that the Steam version is actually on sale at the moment and will be until January the 5th, meaning that you can pick it up for the low price of $15. Ultimately, I do wish that the developers do have a successful release on the Nintendo Switch as well, and that this smear campaign will die down once the game comes out. But in any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.